Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Sister Wives Show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. The dynamics of the Brown family have always been complex, but one of the most controversial aspects has been Robyn's role in shaping, or perhaps dismantling, the family's unity. Fans have speculated for years that Robyn's actions, particularly involving her children, have played a significant part in the unraveling of the family. But how exactly did this happen? Did Robyn intentionally use her kids as a way to solidify her position, or was it an unintentional consequence of her choices? Let's take a closer look at the situation and uncover the details that might explain why so many fans believe Robyn's children played a pivotal role in creating division within the Brown family. From the moment Robyn entered the family, there was a noticeable shift in the dynamic. She brought with her 3 children from a previous marriage, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. While it's natural for a parent to prioritize their children, many fans felt that Robyn's integration into the family came with an expectation that her kids would become the center of attention. This caused tension, especially among the other wives and their children, who may have felt overlooked or displaced. It wasn't just about the addition of 3 new family members. It was about how Robyn ensured that her children were given a level of focus that disrupted the existing balance. One of the most telling examples of this was Kody's relationship with Robyn's children compared to his involvement with the rest of the family. Kody seemed to go out of his way to establish himself as a father figure to Robyn's kids, which on the surface is admirable, but many fans noticed that this came at the expense of his relationships with his other children. Over time, it became clear that Kody was spending significantly more time and energy on Robyn's kids, leaving his other children feeling neglected. Whether intentional or not, this shift in attention created resentment and division among the siblings, with some openly expressing their frustration about their father's absence. What makes this situation even more complicated is how Robyn positioned herself within the family. Robyn has often portrayed herself as the peacemaker, someone who wants to bring everyone together. However, her actions have sometimes suggested the opposite. By ensuring her children were prioritized, she may have unintentionally, or perhaps intentionally, created a divide. This divide wasn't just between Kody and his children. It extended to the wives as well. Mary, Janelle, and Christine began to feel the strain as Kody's focus on Robyn and her kids grew more apparent. One of the most significant points of contention was the way Robyn handled the integration of her children into the Brown family structure. When Kody decided to legally divorce Mary so he could marry Robyn and adopt her children, it sent shockwaves through the family. For Mary, this was a deeply emotional and painful decision, even though she publicly supported it at the time. The adoption itself became a symbol of how far Kody was willing to go for Robyn and her children, even at the expense of his other relationships. While Kody may have seen this as an act of love and commitment, others viewed it as the beginning of the end for the family's unity. Robyn's children also became a focal point during major family decisions, particularly financial ones. From the construction of the family's homes to discussions about relocating, Robyn's priorities seemed to center on what was best for her kids. This often created tension with the other wives, who felt that their own children's needs and futures were being sidelined. For example, when the family decided to move to Flagstaff, many fans speculated that the decision was driven primarily by Robyn's desires, significant upheaval, particularly for the older children who struggled with the transition. Yet Robyn's children appeared to benefit from the move, further fueling the perception that Robyn was orchestrating decisions to benefit her family at the expense of everyone else. Another key aspect of this dynamic is how Robyn's children were perceived within the family hierarchy. Fans have pointed out that Robyn's kids often seemed to receive preferential treatment, whether it was in terms of attention, resources, or opportunities. This preferential treatment didn't go unnoticed by the other children, many of whom felt left out or overlooked. In particular, Christine's children seemed to struggle the most with this dynamic. Christine herself has spoken about feeling like her kids were being pushed to the sidelines, which ultimately contributed to her decision to leave the family. Robyn's approach to parenting also raised questions about how much influence she exerted over Kody's decisions. For instance, Robyn was vocal about wanting a close-knit family where all the children could grow up feeling supported. While this sentiment sounds noble, the reality was far more complicated. Robyn's insistence on certain rules and expectations often clashed with the parenting styles of the other wives. This created tension not only between the adults but also among the children, who were forced to navigate these conflicting dynamics. Perhaps one of the most controversial aspects of this situation is how Robyn's children were portrayed in the family's narrative. Fans have pointed out that Robyn often emphasized the struggles her children faced, painting them as victims who needed extra care and attention. While it's natural for any parent to advocate for their kids, some believe that Robyn may have used this narrative to manipulate Kody and the rest of the family. By positioning her children as the most vulnerable, she ensured that they, and by extension, she, remained a priority. This tactic wasn't just limited to emotional manipulation, it also extended to practical matters. For example, when it came to family finances, Robyn's needs often seemed to take precedence. The other wives frequently expressed frustration over the unequal distribution of resources, particularly when it came to providing for their own children. This imbalance created resentment, further deepening the divide within the family. Over time, it became clear that Robyn's influence over Kody was a major factor in the family's unraveling. Whether it was intentional or not, her ability to prioritize her children's needs often came at the expense of the larger family unit. The other wives began to feel like outsiders in their own family, and the children, who once shared a sense of unity, became increasingly disconnected. This was especially evident in the later seasons, where the cracks in the family's foundation became impossible to ignore. So, did Robyn use her kids to destroy the Brown family? While it's impossible to know her true intentions, there's no denying that her actions had a significant impact on the family's dynamic. By prioritizing her children and ensuring their needs were always met, Robyn inadvertently, or perhaps deliberately, created a situation where the rest of the family felt excluded. This exclusion led to resentment, division, and ultimately, the collapse of the once unified Brown family. As fans continue to debate Robyn's role in the family's downfall, one thing is clear: the dynamics of the Brown family will never be the same. Whether you view Robyn as a protective mother or a manipulative force, her influence over Kody and the family cannot be ignored. The question now is whether the damage can ever be repaired, or if the Brown family story has reached its final chapter. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.